Hello Pisces, welcome to your monthly reading for July. Thank you for being here. I hope you are doing well. Let's see what's coming through for you. You can use this for your sun, moon and rising sign. All right, let's see what's going on. Okay, devil is in the center of the reading. Knight of Wands. Subconscious, you have Nine of Wands. Past position, Four. Conscious, Two of Swords. Immediate future, Page of Wands. Advice card for the month of July, Queen of Cups. Environment, Magician. And opportunities, Seven of Wands. Final outcome card, Six of Swords. All right, Page of Pentacles is on the back of the deck. So in July, we have the retrograde coming up finally. So it's the retrograde is happening in Leo. It's on the 17th. Okay, so Mercury has to do with communication and technology and things like that. So with this, what I'm seeing is something unexpected. So it may have something to do with communication, misunderstandings, things like that, or it could be things breaking down. So something that you were not expecting. So that can lead to some disappointments here. On the other hand, so the retrograde, it's happening in the sign of Leo. So Leo has to do with our self-expression, our authenticity, our passion, our drive, energy. Okay, so retrograde in Mercury retrograde in Leo has to do with going inward. So Leo has to do with outward, but the retrograde is going back, so it has to do with going inward, and that's exactly what's showing up for you on Queen of Cups. So this is about you reconnecting with your own heart. By that, what I mean is you staying in touch with your emotions, your feelings, the triggers, what's happening in the environment, and keeping it under check, being being aware of your own emotional nature and not. So this is a Queen card. It has to do with it has to do with awareness, being conscious of what's happening internally, so you don't make any emotional choices and decisions, right? So that's what this energy is. So it's also about other things, but I will come back to it. So that's something that's happening astrologically, Mercury retrograde in Leo. And the second event that's happening is Uranus moving into the sign of Gemini. So that's happening on the 7th. Now, Uranus has to do with unconventional thinking, this is ruled by Uranus. So you have that energy as well. So Uranus is about, it forces us to step out of our comfort zone and try something new, something different, explore a new way of doing things. It has to do with progressive thinking. So it's reminds us to let go of outdated ideas, old way of doing things. If we still hold on to these, old way of doing things, patterns, things like that, then things will be really challenging for us. So it's actually a blessing in disguise is what I want to say, because this event, Uranus moving into Gemini, can bring up situations and emotions, and we can use this energy effectively in a productive way. The way we can do it is by going inward, instead of mindlessly making choices and reacting and making decisions. It has to do with stepping back and really understanding, okay, what's happening, what am I coming across, and you don't want to, if we respond to these situations the way we did in the past, then things will be really challenging. So we have to find a new way of doing things. That is what Uranus is helping us to do. So it's reminding us to be progressive, release what no longer is helpful. It has to do with internal beliefs, ideologies, thought processes, or it could also be way of doing things, our habits, or it could be about being inventive, and coming up with new ways of doing things. So it can come up in different areas of our life. For some it could be our interactions with others, for some it could be our business, the projects that we are working on, or it could be our health, things like that. So in which area, so what you want to ask yourself, Pisces, is in which area do I need to let go of old beliefs and patterns, and what's a better way of doing things? How can I respond to this situation in an effective way, so so I can find solutions, creative solutions to what I am coming across. So that is something that we have to go inward and ask ourselves and come up with, unconventional. It could be unconventional way of doing things. This is about breaking out of traditional way of doing things, and finding something that's going to helpful for us. Something that's going to work out. So for instance, we are, our world is changing every single day. There is always something new, and we are coming across new challenges and things like that. So we have to adjust, we have to remain flexible, we have to adapt to these new changes that are happening, so we can make the best of. So this is about working with what we have, and also being more resourceful, gather new information, connect with new people, and respond to situations in a new way and things like that. So that is something that I am seeing on your cards. So this is stress, full situations, and for this is also something that you are. So it can go both ways, Pisces. So this could, for some, this could be resistance to change, like you are kicking and screaming your way through it, resistance to change. For some it could also be you pushing away, you setting some boundaries, pushing away people and standing up for what you believe is right, speaking up, things like that. So and then this could mean either a defensiveness, you protecting yourself, or for some this could also be you contemplating on your experiences, considering new options, again going inward and listening to your own intuition, things like that. So opposite energies is what this is about. So you have both energies available, that's what I'm seeing. For instance, this can either be positive, or it can, if we are not careful, this energy will also drag us down. So that is something to be mindful of, what we are coming across, what is the best course of action here, and what is the solution that I am expecting. And then it's also important to remain flexible, and listening is also important with both these cards. This is your advice card, and advice here is to listen. So it could be listening to yourself, your own intuition, or it could also be whoever is in front of you, or it could also be considering the facts, considering the information that you have. It could be learning about something, and doing your research, and skill development and things like that. And these are the two cards where the listening part is missing, all these cards here. So that is something to be mindful of. So maybe that's the reason why your advice card is Queen of Cups. So this is about, again, trusting your instincts, listening to your intuition, and also the information that you are receiving, and then taking action accordingly. So yes, Uranus moving into Gemini is a big deal. So, and that can also bring up some challenging situations. But then at the same time, it also has to do with um, a blessing in a disguise, is what I want to say. Something that's going to help us make positive changes. And then Mercury retrograde, I already spoke about that. Yes, something that's happening towards the end of the month is Moon in Virgo squaring the Uranus in Gemini. So Virgo is slow energy, and Uranus and Gemini both has to do with fast movement. And so this can lead to personality clashes and restlessness, impatience, control issues, things like that. So challenging again. So this is something that we have to ask ourselves, that again, what we are coming across and what's the best way to respond to these situations. So these are the event things that are happening in the sky, and it will affect us also, because we all are living, all of us, it's not just your sign, all of us, we all are living under the same sky. So when we know what the energy is going to be like, then we can make better choices. Okay, so now let's go back to the cards here. Page of Pentacles is on the back of the deck. So Page of Pentacles is all about remaining open, staying open and being receptive to what you are coming across. So this is you keeping your hands open and receiving what you are coming across. And so the card is reminding you, if you are coming across some changes, this is about remaining curious and not resisting these changes, because maybe there is a blessing there for you. Okay, so this is about going beyond the appearances, going beyond how things are looking on the surface, and find out what the opportunities are, what the blessings are, because it could be, it doesn't have to be immediate results, but it could be something that's going to help you in the long run. So you want to see the bigger picture. So keep the bigger picture in mind and then make your choices accordingly. On the other hand, Page of Pentacles here also has to do with you receiving gifts, presents. It could be a learning opportunity for some of you. It could be you taking a creative project, taking a class, or for some, it could be you doing something together with a friend. Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, youthful energy. So something to do with siblings or friendships, or you taking up something that you always wanted to do, like a creative project, a childhood dream maybe. And you are in the subconscious, this is how you are feeling this month, Pisces. So just be aware of that. This is stressful and setting boundaries, and that's exactly what you are doing here as well. So which is good. Especially if you are exhausted and if you want to take care of yourself, and if you have things to do, you want to say no to things. So that's something that's happening here. On the other hand, this is also you doubting yourself. So for instance, this is you not able to make up your mind, confusion. So with this, know in which area this is happening. It could be something that you are working on, or it could be a relationship, or it could be general energy. Okay, so here, if there is something you are working on and you are doubting, like if this is if you really want to do it, or if it's time to let it go, then maybe instead of making a quick decision, maybe think about things, think through things, and also listen to your own heart, listen to your intuition, and maybe if what the options that you are coming across, your options, maybe there is another solution that you are not considering at this moment. You will only be able to access it when the mind is calm. Here the mind is overactive. It could be physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, or it could be confusion in your own mind, conflicting thoughts that you are coming across. So yeah, it's important to clarify your own thoughts before moving forward and making decisions. This is a foggy mind. Okay, the reason why this is happening is your ruling planet Neptune is going retrograde in the sign of Aries. That can lead to um, some confusion, and so before making any decision, it's important to sit with it and walk with it. And then maybe you will find a new idea, a new insight on how to handle things and what decision is best for you. Okay, because with this there is mind is taking over. So you also want to know what's the best course of action is. That can only happen when you wait for clarity. Okay, so yeah, Neptune retrograde in Aries is happening on the 4th of July. All right, so yeah, stress, it could be that you are overworking. Yeah, this is you coming across different you rushing through things. It could be that you have a deadline coming up, or it could be that you are handling several things at the same time. And the reason why it could be happening is because you are passionate about things. Whatever it is that you are working on, you are really passionate about it. You want to give it your 100%. And when something is not going the way you had expected, then you will come across some frustration. And this is that energy, frustration. And you are also carrying this with you. You are thinking, overthinking, playing it, replaying it in your mind. So wherever you are going, even when you are going for a walk, you are still thinking about it, and that is very draining. Okay, so yeah, devil is in the center of the reading. This has to do with something that's not helpful for you. So it may have something to do with people you are hanging out with, relationships, or your relationship with yourself, meaning your it could be food, it could be drinks, some kind of addiction doesn't have to be substance. It could also be too much internet, shopping, inertia, procrastination, things like that. So know where this is playing out in your life. So with this, what I want to say is, whatever it is that you are taking up, for instance, if you are taking up a new project, then know if you have time for these things, if you have space, and how things are making you feel. You don't want to do something just for the sake of it. So you want to take up things in being more intentional in your everyday life is important, Pisces. So when you make a choice, know what kind of choices you are making, and whether how it's going to pan out in the long run. If on the other hand, when it comes to how you are spending your time, your energy, you might want to check with yourself if this is a best use of your time, if you are using your time wisely, or if there is something meaningful that you can do with your time. It could be, again, learning something, or it could be physical exercise for some of you. So this energy I'm seeing here, these are all very passionate energies. Look at this. You have all these cards from the Wands family. Fire energy. So this is high energy, and you want to, instead of so know where you are focusing your energy and what is more important. So staying more organized in your day is important, and you want to use this energy wisely. So know what needs to happen, what needs to go. so you can focus your energy on things that are more meaningful for you. Okay. And here, yes, if you are doubting yourself before you make that decision, it's important to sit with it and consider all your options. Also the ones that you are not seeing at this moment. So for the it could mean like talking it out, get a third party perspective, or it could also be, like I said, thinking outside the box. So what I want to say is, don't go for what is available. Instead, it's you want to brainstorm, you want to connect with new people, ask for perspectives and things like that, and in order to find out what's the best course of action is here. And if you go inward, maybe you will find that answer within, because we all are wise beings. Sometimes we just don't acknowledge it. So maybe think about staying away from noisy environment, or it could be making time for reflection, contemplation, and that will help you find clarity. Okay, so in the center of the reading, you have a Devil card and then the Knight of Wands. So this Pisces may have something to do with, you taking action. Okay, so this energy, so what I want you to ask yourself is, wherever I am, whatever it is that I am doing, is it making me feel free, or is it, if it's making me feel restricted? This is restriction, feeling stuck, feeling restricted, and that is happening because of Saturn retrograde in Aries. There is a reason why all this is happening, because of what's happening in the sky, but an opportunity for us to create positive changes. So Saturn retrograde is happening in the sign of Aries, and Saturn has to do with discipline, commitment, and so Saturn, Uranus, all these planets, the energy of all these planets has to do with they are actually, through difficulties, through challenges, they are actually helping us. They are pushing us out of our comfort zone. This is comfort. So they are pushing us out of the comfort zone, so we can then do something new and different in our life. We can progress. We can make progress and progress in our life. So Saturn, yes, if this could be lethargy or inertia and things like that. If that is the case, here with Knight of Wands, this is you breaking out of that cycle. This is where you are actively pursuing something. So it could be a creative project for some of you, or it could be taking action, but know what kind of actions you are making, and if this is helping you move towards your goals, what you want to experience, or it's taking you away, because both can happen. So it's all about, because we all are, it's a general reading, we all are going through different things, different stages in our life. So when we come across these challenging energies, it can actually pull us into that black hole, or it can help us create a breakthrough moment. So it depends upon where you are in your journey. So you are taking some kind of action because of this energy. This is feeling stuck, it could be boredom for some of you, or it could just be comfort. And sometimes comfort can be our prison. It can, that's what I'm seeing here as well. So So something to be mindful of, but you are taking some action, but it's important to know whether it's helping you move forward, make progress, or it's pulling you back in old cycles. Something new is on the horizon, and you also have Fool is in the past position, and this is you trusting yourself, coming from that place of faith and confidence. And this is again something new. It could be a new project you are taking up, taking a class, and both these cards has to do with a creative project. And this is where you are struggling a little bit, Pisces, and things are making you feel like, heavy energy is what this is. So why is that happening though? For some, it could be happening in a different areas of you, a different area. So on the one hand, for some, this is you challenging the status quo, you standing up for what you believe is right, you speaking up, and something like that, on the other hand, with this, what I want to say is this is stress. Both these cards here has to do with stress. So do not go by what's happening in the environment, what somebody is telling you to do, things like that, other people's opinions, their suggestions, because that can lead to, if you just, what I really want to say is, don't dance to other people's tunes. So before you before responding to any situations, know if where you are coming from, uh, whether this is right for you, whether this is right decision, right action, things like that. Yeah. So rights and wrongs, this card may also have something to do with morality, and you contemplating on what's right, what's not, and which is an amazing thing. We all want to think about these things instead of mindlessly making decisions. We also want to ask ourselves, okay, I am taking this decision, this is what I'm going to do. Is it going to be helpful for me and helpful for the people in my life, my future, things like that, so that is something to be mindful of. On the other hand, this is some disagreements breaking out in relationships. What I want, if that is something that you are coming across, what I want to say is, don't go by the surface issues. Don't let surface issues affect you. Instead, see the bigger picture. So when it comes to what does that mean for you, so you might want to sit down and reflect on what that means for you. So when I said see the bigger picture, it could be something that you are working on. If you are coming across some doubts, and if you think maybe it's not for me and I just want to let it go, then it's about you asking yourself, okay, what's the reason that I started this project in the first place? Why do I want to let it go? Is it because I am tired? Is it because I don't want to? What does it need from me, and what am I ready to give it? So these kinds of questions. So if this is like just exhaustion, this could mean just taking some time off, and doing something like totally different, something that has nothing to do with this. On the other hand, if this has something to do with what's happening in the environment, then it's about seeing the bigger picture, meaning what is it that you are working towards. So that is something to be mindful of. And also listening is important. If this has something to do with a disagreement, looks like this is you are affected by the surface issues, but this card is reminding you to go beyond, because there is something that you are not seeing at this moment. So it could be reminding you to look at the information that's in front of you, and look at it closely, deeply, in order to understand what's in front of you before responding, before giving out your opinion, your thoughts, things like that, so that's I'm not seeing it here. So maybe that's your advice card here, is to uh, again trust yourself, listen to your intuition, listen to the information you are receiving, and then so you can then go through these changes, whatever is the situations that you are coming across, calmly. So this is calm, this is calm in chaos, but this is your advice card. So if that is not what's happening, then the advice is to lead into this energy, Pisces. Okay. So here with Seven of Wands, this is also over explaining. So it could be meetings, discussions, the people in front of you, or it may have something to do with your work related things. Over explaining, it could be that, you are not on the same page. There is personality clashes and disagreements, some kind of arguments, things like that is coming through. On the other hand, if you are presenting, if you are doing some presentations, Page of Wands here could also mean presentations. It could be you are something to do with your creative project. For some, what I am seeing here is dance, music. It could also be a play. Maybe you are acting in a play, things like that. So this is where you are coming across something unexpected. It could be that if you are doing a presentation, maybe somebody will ask you something and you may not have the right answer. And on the other hand, it could be something, things breaking down. So that's what happens during Mercury retrograde, which is again on the 17th. But the shadow period will happen 2 weeks before the 17th, so the entire July actually. So during Mercury retrograde, it leads to communication issues, misunderstandings, things breaking down. So something like that is happening, something to do with technology, your computer, or it could be your mixer grinder, something like that, So that can lead to some disappointments and frustration. For some, this could also be defensiveness. It could be that someone is, if you are having a conversation with someone, they are talking about things and you are feeling a little bit defensive, as if you have to protect yourself. So if that's the way, if that is something that's happening, Uranus in Gemini is reminding you, maybe do you want to respond it differently? Meaning stay open and curious to what's being said. By that what I mean is it could be asking questions to clearly understand what's being said. It could be like this is what I am hearing, did you mean it this way, or did I misunderstand? Is there something that I am missing here? So it's important to ask the right questions to clearly understand what's being said before giving before saying or doing something, before responding. So this is you protecting yourself, as if like if you are getting attacked or something like that. This is here here it's like you are expecting something bad to happen. If this is the energy you are coming from, Pisces, then things will be really challenging. Okay, so just be aware of that, because if this is how you are feeling, know what needs to change, what needs to happen, so you can shift this energy and move into July feeling positive, optimistic, relaxed, and ready to handle the challenges that you are coming across with peace and calm. Okay, because what I'm seeing on the cards is a little bit stressful, but that is, so challenges are part of life. We come across ups and downs every single day. There is a new thing happening, but how we respond to it is in our hands. and we also want to make sure that we are being clear about things. When our mind is clouded, then it won't be possible for us to make clear decisions. So this is, if that is the case, it's important to take a step back and contemplate on things before moving forward. If moving forward with whatever it is that you are coming up with. For some, it could be signing a contract. If you are signing a contract, it's important. So you have magician's energy in the environment. So what I want to remind you is, don't go by someone's promises, their suggestions, what they are talking about, because people say things and they can say something totally different tomorrow. So you want, if it's an important contract or something like that, you want everything, make sure you are getting everything in writing. You want to make sure you are reading everything correctly, and you are also make sure that you are understanding everything clearly before you sign on the dotted line. So take your time is what I want to say there. Something unexpected is happening, so it's important to take care of all your pending tasks, and so this could be procrastination, okay, leaving things for tomorrow's. So it's important to take care of things in advance, so if something unexpected comes up, then you don't have to worry about things. So it could be a deadline, it could be something to do with your kids, maybe something to do with their admission, or things like that. Or it could be health related, like making a doctor appointment, things like that. So if there is something that you are something that needs your attention, remember to take care of that in advance. Be proactive, so if something else comes up, then you have room for it, you have space for it, right? So you have magician's energy in the environment. Magician here has to do with manifestations, So 9 of Wands is your subconscious. So if this is where you are coming from, Pisces, just be careful, because you don't want to manifest something that you don't want to experience. So it's important to be aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our words, our choices and actions, because that becomes our reality. So with this, if this is how you are feeling, know how you want to, this is stress, so know how you want to shift out of that energy, so you can manifest great experiences. All right, so let's see what's coming through on the oracle cards. So both these cards, Pisces, here, both these cards are reminding you to focus on inner safety, inner stability, and security. Okay, because that's actually coming through for most signs. So with this is like so that defensiveness and the need to protect ourselves comes from the belief that somehow we are not safe, somehow there is some kind of danger and we have to protect ourselves. Is that really true? So where is that coming from? So when we come from that place of doubt, and it could also be insecurities and things like that, I mean, we all go through this. It's not like there is a human that don't go through doubts and insecurities. We all do, but it has to do with our awareness and what we do with it. So when we become aware of these emotions that we are having, the triggers, then it will be possible for us to find a solution within. It's not about changing people, circumstances, and what's happening in the world, the government, things like that. It's not in our control. It's about really understanding, okay, this is there. We don't have to change the external. This is what it is. But with we would it would still be able it will still be possible for us to come from a place of inner stability, inner calm and harmony, and when we do that, we listen carefully and we make choices and decisions that would be helpful for us and also others. It will be possible for us to make fair decisions, so that's what this. And also it will be possible for us to be there for others and be a source of inspiration and guidance for them, so that's what I'm not seeing here, but that's what the advice is. So advice is to go inward and find out if this is how you are feeling, know where this is coming from. And so the solution is to come from the place of confidence, and also the belief that the world is not a dangerous place, so you know what, now when I'm thinking about it, I just did your weekly reading, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, and I think the title was "The World is Not a Battlefield." I just remember, it just came to me. And when I saw the cards, I was like, what the heck is going on here? And then I was actually comparing it with what's happening in the sky. And then I was like, okay, you know what, that's the reason why this is happening. So it could be, something that's happening for everybody. We all are, like I said, under the same sky. But I would say an opportunity for us to break out of something that's not going to be helpful, so we can create new experiences. So setting intentions is what this energy is. Magician's energy has to do with alignment, meaning our what happens sometimes is we want things, we want to experience, we want to have certain kinds of experiences, but our choices, our decisions takes us away from it, moves us away from it, so this is being in alignment, meaning our thoughts, our words, our choices, our decisions, our actions all lining up and helping us move in the direction that we want to go. So what are these goals that you are working towards? What are these experiences that you really want to have in your life? And so it's important. So when you sit down with these questions, then it will be possible for you to move in the right direction. Be aware of self-talks, because that also takes energy, and it's very exhausting. Emotional exhaustion, mental exhaustion, physical exhaustion. Devil is in the center of the reading. So this may have something to do with our attachments. For some, it may have could be anything, like people we love. It could be material possessions. It could be a job situation. It could be our responsibilities, things like that. So, sometimes it's we feel burdened because of these responsibilities, and something that we have to do. So is there any way? Yes, these are important things that you have to do. But is there any way you can come from that place of, I want to do this, instead of I have to do this, I want to do this. So how can that shift happen? And it's also about, how it's important to know how you can stay a little bit detached. Is that possible? Without getting entangled in other people's emotions. That entanglement is what I am seeing here. So, for instance, sometimes what happens is the people we love, when they are coming across something, some struggle or some kind of issues that they are having, then it feels like we feel kind of a sense of that helplessness, powerlessness, as if we can't do anything about anything to make things right for them, right? So, but is it possible to, like, it could be happening anywhere, it could be personal, it could be work related, anything like that. So it's about not, it's about empowerment, it's about empowering others, so they can find their own solutions, and also knowing that it's through challenges, it's through facing the challenges that we grow, we evolve, we become better, we do better, become better, things like that. But it's easy to say these things, but actually when it comes to, when we come across a situation like that, we feel kind of that sense of helplessness. But something that we can remind ourselves, because there is, every moment there is a blessing, and it's all events help us move in the right direction, whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, things like that, everything is actually working in our favor, whether on the surface it feels like a struggle, or if it feels like a breeze, but it actually help us move in the right direction. So yeah, so it's important to know, it's important to then realize, protect our own energy, take care of ourselves, so then we can be there for someone, without emotionally getting entangled in their emotions. That's also what I'm coming through from both these cards. When I said inner stability, that's what I meant. Stabilizing our own emotions so we can be curious, ask the right questions, and be present with what's going on, so we can then help people make solutions, find solutions. But if we lose ourselves in that situation, then it won't be possible for us to be a source of guidance or inspiration, things like that. So something to be mindful of, Pisces. Let's see what's coming through on the oracle cards. Pisces, your message is the wellspring. Okay. What are you thirsty for? Body care. Take a breath. Yes. So it totally goes with this energy. So the message is, what are you thirsty for? Body care. Take a breath. So that's exactly what this energy is. So like I said, it has to do with self-care. This month, it's absolutely important to take care of yourself. So you can then move through these, so you can work with the energy, Okay, let me read this out to you. So let me read this out to you. $150. What are you thirsty for? Body care, take a breath. We don't only need water to thrive, we need it to survive. The wellspring, we need it to survive. The wellspring card often appears when things are unbalanced, or when we have been pushing ourselves beyond our limits in ways that are simply unsustainable. Just like the seasons around us, we too are cyclical, and thus we must pay attention to where we are expecting ourselves to be in full bloom all year round. While we can rely on our reserves for a limited amount of time, if we allow ourselves to become depleted over a long period to run on empty, it will likely take longer to recover than it ever did before. We must embrace our humanity and take care of the body by slowing down, quenching our thirst, and finding ways to recover and deeply rest. The Wellspring card is an invitation to look at where you have been going into overdrive, to reflect on the areas where you have been pushing yourself beyond your physical limits, to consider whether you have been forcing yourself to run on your reserves. It delivers a message to reassess the speed and force you are using, to bring more harmony and balance back into your life, and to trust your inner seasons, to look after yourself and appreciate your precious body. Soul inquiry. What are you pushing yourself beyond? Where are you pushing yourself beyond your limits? How are you being called to care more for your body? What are you really truly thirsty for? That actually totally goes with these cards, Pisces. So what I want to remind you is this month, maybe just think about think about self-care, and what does that mean for you. So for some, this could mean taking care of your body. It could be physical exercise, going for regular walks. For some, it could be mental well-being, so meditation, reading, or taking up a creative project that is not that stressful. Or it could mean just sleep, rest, relax, do nothing. Sometimes that is also important, right? So or for some, it could be connecting with the people you love. It could be a pet, it could be family members, friends, forming new connections, things like that. So something that is not that mentally stimulating, something that's not stressful, something that you wouldn't struggle to make something perfect. When we are seeking that perfection, then we are always struggling. So instead, let things be, let things fall in its own place, and you take care of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally. So maybe that's exactly what this energy is. This is your advice card, Pisces, and this is reminding you, fill your own cup, because maybe with this, it feels like you are that you are running on empty, just like the message said. You are pushing too much. This is you rushing, pushing, making things happen. So instead of making things happen, remember to just be. And maybe you want to think about it and reflect on it and see what comes up for you. So that's what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Please remember to watch the moon and the rising sign as well. And if you like what you see here, remember to support the channel. And again, take care, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye-bye.